Okay, before we do this lesson, we have to take the quiz. So I'll just, oh, I guess we don't. That's the next lesson that we have to take the quiz before. 6.1. Factoring is probably one of the most difficult things that folks face. Students struggle with factoring. This lesson is the 34th hardest in the course. It should take about 37 minutes. If you don't understand this lesson, make sure you get help. The next 3 lessons are among the hardest in the course, and not understanding this lesson will make those much worse. All right, let's go. Question 2, multiply. So we've got a little bit of review first. Multiply using the rule for the square of a binomial. The square of a binomial is the first term squared, the last term squared. Notice it's plus regardless because anytime you take a negative times a negative, you also get a positive. And then twice the middle term, or twice these two terms. So your answer is x squared minus 10x plus 25. X squared minus 10x plus 25. Number 3, do some division. B plus 4 goes into b squared plus 7b plus 12. Goes in there b times b is b squared. B times 4 is 4b. Change the sign and add. These cancel and you get 3b plus 12. So plus 3, b times 3 is 3b, 3 times 4 is 12. Subtract and you get nothing. So your answer is b plus 3. Next one, another division. 4, oops, I gotta close this and restart it because my inking got off. Oops. 4k squared plus 1 goes into 16k to the 4th plus 12k cubed. And then I'm going to leave a blank here for the k squared terms plus 3k minus 1. So we get 4k cubed, k squared, excuse me. 4k squared times 4k squared is 16k to the 4th. 4k squared times 1 is 4k squared. Notice I write it underneath there because it's going to have a squared term, not a cubed term. Then I'm going to subtract, and I get these cancel. So I get 12k cubed is the next term. So plus 3k. 3 times 4 is 12. K squared times k is k cubed. 3k times 1 is 3k. Subtract. These cancel. These cancel. And you're left with negative 4k squared minus 1. So minus 1, you get negative 4k squared minus 1. Change the signs and add them. These cancel and these cancel. So here's your answer. All right. So we get 4k squared plus 3k minus 1. Next one, factor out the negative common factor for the expression. In other words, let's make this first term, oh, I see what they want us to do. We're going to factor out the greatest common factor. So here's how we do it. Negative 8m cubed n cubed minus 64m cubed n squared. I'm going to divide upside down, take out a negative 8. That'll take care of this. and that'll make this positive 8. Take out an m cubed, that'll take care of all of these and all of these, and take out an n squared, and that'll make this n, and that'll take that away. So n plus 8, and so our outside is 8m cubed n squared, and our inside is n plus 8, n plus 8. So we're going to choose letter A. Next one, factor out the greatest common factor again. Okay, so I'm going to change colors. I don't like that red so much. Negative 6 x to the 9th y to the 7th minus 54 x to the 7th y to the 6th minus 24 x y. Okay, the biggest number you can take out is 6, and let's make it a negative 6. So that'll take care of this, and that'll make this plus 9, and that'll make this plus 4. Now let's take out an x and a y. That'll make this x to the 8th, y to the 6th. That'll make this x to the 6th, y to the 5th, and that'll take care of all of those. So our factored form is x to the 8th, y to the 6th, plus 9x to the 6th, y to the 5th, plus, delete, plus 4. Uh-oh. X to the 8th. Oh, I forgot the other factor. Parentheses. Yeah, I got to get the factor that's out front. Negative 6xy. There we go. Next one. Factor this one. Now, when people see this one, they sometimes get confused as to what they're looking at. So I think it helps. A minus 3. A minus 3. I'm going to just show you it using colors. A plus 1 plus A plus 8. Now you can see that they have in common the A minus 3. If you factor that out front, you have A plus 1 plus A plus 8. A plus 1 plus A plus 8 is 2A plus 9. So our factored form is A minus 3 I got to scroll that up. A minus 3 parentheses 2A plus 9. Next one. Factor out the negative coefficient here. Factor out a factor with a negative coefficient. So negative y out of negative y to the 5th plus 3y to the 4th minus 9y gives us positive y to the 4th, negative 3y to the 3rd, positive 9. So our factored form is negative y, y to the 4th minus 3y to the third plus 9. Now factor out a positive factor. So let's factor out y, and we're left with negative y to the fourth, plus 3y to the third minus 9. All right, factor by grouping. All right, so we get bx plus cx minus by minus cy. Let's treat them as two separate factorings. We can take a x out of the first ones, and we're left with b plus c. We can take out a negative y out of the second ones. That changes this to positive, so we're left with b plus c. Now, when we factor, I'm going to change it to a different color. We can take out a b plus c, and we're left with x minus y. So our factored form is b plus c, x minus y. All right, next one. Oops. Um, 4m plus mn plus 24 plus 6n. Got two separate ones first. Can take an m out of the first ones, and we're left with 4 plus n. Take a 6 out of the second ones, and we're left with 4 plus n. These two always have to be the same. Now when we factor, we can take out a 4 plus n out of both of them, and we're left with m plus 6. So 4 plus n, m plus 6. Number 11, another factoring by grouping. Uh-oh. Okay, so we've got 4 minus 2x minus 18y plus 9xy. So we've got two separate ones. Take out a 2 out of the first ones, and we're left with 2 minus x. Take out a negative 9. This negative 9 makes this sign negative. So it's 9y, I'm sorry. 2 minus x. These two numbers always have to be the same. That's how I knew I needed a 9y. So it's 2 minus x out of both of them, and we're left with 2 minus 9y. 2 minus x, 2 minus 9y. Oops, I forgot to put in the last parentheses. Number 12, another factoring by grouping. Okay, so we have r squared minus 12tw plus 4wr minus 3tr. Notice right now they have nothing in common, these two, so let's reorder them, and let's switch these two around. So we'll have r squared plus 4wr minus 12tw minus 3tr. Now when we group them, we can take an r out of the first ones, and we're left with r plus 4w. Take a negative 3 out of the second ones, negative 3t, and we're left with 4w plus r, which I guess we should have switched these two around. Then these two would have been switched around too. So take an r plus 4w out front, and we're left with r minus 3t. r plus 4w, r minus 3t. Parentheses, r plus 4w, parentheses, r minus 3t. Number 12. Okay, 4 and 5xy have nothing in common, so I'm going to put the 4 next to the minus 2x. I'm going to switch those two around. Minus 10y plus 5xy. So I switched these two right here around. I'm going to take a 2 out of the first two, and I'm left with 2 minus x. I'm going to take out a negative 2, negative 5 y, and I'm left with 2 minus x. So now when I factor, I take a 2 minus x out front, and I'm left with 2 minus 5y. 2 minus x, 2 minus 5y. Next one. You can always tell that it's time to group because you see 4 terms long. 4 terms long say factor by grouping. I'm going to switch the middle two around this time. 6s cubed minus 3s plus 2. And the reason for doing that is 9 is bigger than 6 and 3 is bigger than 2. So I can factor a 3s cubed out of the first ones, and I'm left with 3s minus 2. And I can factor out a negative 1 out of the second ones, and I'm left with, that'll change this to negative, 3s minus 2. So my factored form is 3s minus 2, and I'm left with 3s cubed minus 1. 3s minus 2 parentheses, 3s minus 2, parentheses, forgot what the second one was, 3s cubed minus 1. 3s cubed minus 1. Oops. Last one. Another one that we have to rearrange. One minus z plus az minus a. I'm gonna now let's switch these two around too. So it's 1 minus z minus a plus az. That'll work. So I can take a 1 out of the first ones, and I'm left with 1 minus z. And you can take out a minus a, and I'm left with 1. That'll change this to a minus z. So my factored form is 1 minus z, 1 minus a. 1 minus z, parentheses 1 minus a. All right. And that's the end of the lesson.